Welcome back to Wind Waker. Last time we finished off Dragon Roost Island, and we went back to Windfall Island in order to do some side quests. One of which got us the Swift Sail here, which allows us to change the direction of the wind without having to take out the Wind Waker. And the other being the Town Flower, which is part of the trading side quest of this game. And this volcanic island right here, we're going to be coming back to that later, so make sure you keep it in mind. As for our destination now, we're heading toward the Forest Haven, where the King of Red Lions told us to go. And I'm not going to be cutting out sailing until about when we get the third pearl in the game, I think. Because there's still some stuff I want to talk about when it comes to sailing, such as a change that they made from the original Wind Waker, or a couple of changes rather. In this version, you don't actually have to have the grappling hook equipped. If you look in the top left corner, you can see that the D-pad shows the grappling hook on the right side. And so if I just press right on the D-pad, I can take it out. Although, I guess I actually still have the grappling hook, equipped, so it's not that good of an example. But it does cut down on waiting time, because in the original version of the game you had to pause your game, and go into the menu, and select the whatchamacallit, the grappling hook, that's what it's called. Same with the sail and the Wind Waker. There's going to be a couple more items that we can get, that we can use out on the sea. And just the fact that the sail, the Wind Waker, and the grappling hook are all different buttons now, it's just so convenient. We're going to be making a small stop on this island, because there is someone here that I want to talk to. This is one of the traveling merchants that Zunari was talking about. And we can trade to him our town flower. So, once I'm done talking to him, let me get out the town flower. And there you go. Unlike with Zunari, who gave us this item for free, we actually have to pay for this trade. The trades aren't all that costly until, I think, the end of the game, where it might hit over 100 rupees or something like that, but it's really not that big of a deal right now. And I'm not going to be doing the final trades, so that doesn't really matter. And because we traded to him, the postman is going to start making deliveries to Zunari's shop, so he can stock the sea flower there. And another thing that I want to do on this island, or near this island rather, on this square of the map instead, is go into this submarine, because there is a very important item inside that I really want to get. There's also a couple of bokoblins surrounding it, or rather a single bokoblin surrounding it. I think those pots might have a joy pendant or something inside. Speaking of joy pendants, there's a bunch of bokoblins in here along with the rats. Something I didn't figure out until a lot later, like basically when I was recording this game, is that the rats that are around can actually steal the rupees that enemies drop, which is a little bit annoying, but it's something you gotta deal with. For killing all of the bokoblins, we get another empty bottle, which is very, very useful. I'm going to be getting all the empty bottles in the game. It's really going to help out with the whole 3-heart hero mode thing. Now, let's actually head toward our destination, which is right over there. Before we truly get onto the island that I'm trying to get to, I want to do a couple of side things, so let me get out my bait first, because that's one of the things I need. if I could get it out before the King of Red Lions makes me go cutscene, and I did. And also there's one of the side islands on this square that I want to go to. Sorry about that, had a bit of a coughing fit, but I'll probably cut that out. This is the Forest Haven, and within the Forest Haven is the Deku Tree, from whom we will get the second pearl of the game. But first, want to talk to Mr. Fishman over here and give him the bait so that I can get this place marked on the map. I'm only going to be marking some main islands. I won't mark every little thing that I see. And also, it's a good opportunity to show what the map actually looks like, because that's another thing to talk about. The relative location of this area is pretty much the same as the Kokiri Forest in Ocarina of Time. So this is the true successor, I guess you could call it, to the Kokiri Forest, rather than the spiritual successor, which was Outset Island, which kind of didn't really have anything on its geographic location in Ocarina of Time. I guess maybe the Gerudo Desert, but that's kind of its own thing. It's not really represented on the sea, actually. There's no Gerudos or anything like that, except, of course, Ganondorf himself. And in here is something pretty special for this game. There is a, what should I call it? A gallery, that's what it's called. It's essentially a place where you can create figurines. You give this guy some pictures, and then you wait until the next day, and those pictures will become figurines, and the figurines will have little descriptions, and you could look at the models of the characters and such. And something cool that this game does, compared to the original version, is that the figurines can be made multiple times in one day. Or rather, you can make multiple figurines in one day. Back in the original version, you were limited to 1 per day. And of course, you could only have 3 pictures, so with this version, it's a lot easier to, how should I put it? Get more figurines at once. He of course said to wait until tomorrow, so I waited until the next day, and he should have the figurines done by now. There's a few references around this area as well. You can see the windmill from Windfall Island. You can see some masks up there from Majora's Mask. Well, only one of them originated in Majora's Mask, I think. The rest are from Ocarina of Time. And if we go in this room right here, which is associated with Dragon Roost Island, we can see the figurines of characters from Dragon Roost Island. And I'm going to keep one of them off screen because it's a bit of a spoiler. But let's just look at Quill here. Has a little description. You could move the camera, zoom in, zoom out, all that goodness. And after you beat the game, I think all of your figurines will save, so you can transfer those figurines onto the new file, so you don't have to do them all in one run. I guess that's also why they give you the Picto Box immediately for New Game Plus, because there's some characters that you just can't get, like ones on Outset Island, specifically Aryll, probably. Another thing about this island is that you need to hit a switch in order to access it. There's a switch way up there. You can kind of see it. If I back up, you could probably see it a little better. Yeah, you see that bit of gold way in the distance? You're supposed to use a seagull to try and hit that with a Hioi pair. And I didn't have to do that because I'm in New Game Plus. And even if you did open it, or rather, even if you didn't open it in your first playthrough, it will automatically be opened in your second one. Or in your New Game Plus one, rather. So now we'll actually start heading toward the, the main island. But first, we gotta deal with these Boko Babas, who drop Boko Baba seeds. These are pretty cool items. You can use them to make something very useful. It's essentially a potion that restores everything. Your health and that other meter that I haven't talked about, which we are going to be getting in this part. But you need to have at least 4 of them to do it, so I'm just gonna grind them out real fast with these guys, and I think I should be getting my 4th one by hitting this one. There we go. Well, if I could actually hit that, thank you. Another enemy we're introduced to. I think there were some on the sea that I might have seen, but actually on foot. Octoroks. You just knock back their little balls that they shoot at you, and it's pretty easy to take them down. On this one, dropped an item orb, which I don't actually need, because I took the Boko Baba seed from him already. Something about Boko Babas in this game that's a bit different from the Deku Babas in Ocarina of Time. It doesn't matter how many times you hit them, you always have to make them go vertical first and then hit them again in order to kill them. Because the game wants them to drop Deku sticks every time you hit them. Or rather, every time you kill them. Unlike in, say, Ocarina of Time, where a jump attack with, like, the Bigoron sword could take them down super easily in 1 hit. They're forced to be taken down with 2 hits, at least in our current state. We may be getting an item later on that can take them down in 1 hit. And by we may be getting that, I mean we totally are getting that. And here we are actually inside the Forest Haven. There isn't much going on right now. It's kind of quiet. There's a lot of little fireflies around, and I think the specific one that I want to see is in the grass around here somewhere. Maybe I actually have to deal with... Oh, it's right over there. Hopefully I can avoid the cutscene. And I totally can. Alright, let me get out a bottle. If you scoop this guy up, you get a forest firefly. And you can take him to the, what's it called? The photographer in Windfall Island. In the original version of the game, that would get you the Pictobox DX, so you could take color pictures. But in this version of the game, to get the Pictobox DX, you actually have to do a side quest with that guy, which involves taking pictures of other characters around the island. And once you finish that side quest, then he'll grant you the Pictobox DX. We're also introduced to green choo-choos here, which I'm not actually going to get to talk about because I killed them so quickly. This bit of text here is actually in Hylian. Of course, I'm in New Game Plus, so we can see it and understand it. And he thinks we're the hero of time, so he probably can see the green tunic that we're supposed to be wearing, or supposedly wearing, rather. He says some stuff about the king finding the hero of time, which obviously we aren't, and the king must be talking about the King of Red Lions, of course. And now we are introduced to the Koroks, these little creepy yet kind of cute characters. Originally, well, the Deku Tree's gonna talk about this, but they had human forms. These are essentially descendants of the Kokiri. Or maybe they are the Kokiri that Link actually knew, but they just turned into these forms. I'm not sure when Kokiri die or how they even... You know what, let's not get into that. The Great Deku Tree says he'll give us the orb after... whatchamacallit? The ceremony, yes. But Makar, the person who performs the ceremony, got swept up in the Forbidden Woods, and so we have to wait until... well, not wait until Makar is saved, we have to save Makar, because we're the hero, and thus we bring with us a lot of misfortune. Sadly, the only way to get into the island is through the air. You can't get in there by boat. It was that big thorny island that's beside this one that actually isn't marked on the map for some reason. The map only has this island along with the 3 tall ones that are around it. So it's kind of weird that it isn't marked, but whatevs. If we grab that item on the Deku Tree's crown, though, we'll be able to get to that island pretty easily. Although, he could have just given us the item instead of making us do all this junk. But then we wouldn't have a tutorial, would we? Before we do all that, though, I want to head into this place and get out my Boko Babas seeds. Because if we give them to this guy, he will make us a super replenishing potion. Which, again, the one that restores both our health and our magic. Which we will get as soon as we grab that leaf from the top of the Deku Tree. This is a pretty cool way to get the blue potion. It's a bit more... well, not really difficult. It's just that Boko Babas are kind of a trickier enemy, in my opinion, than the actual way we get blue potion. Speaking of potions, the green choo-choos drop green chew jelly, and if we take a bunch of those to the potion shop guy, he will start making green potion for us. You need 15 in order to get him to start selling it, and if you bring him 5, just like with the red chew jelly, he'll make you one for free. And now we climb. These buds, I guess you could call them. I'm not exactly sure what to call them. They shoot you up into the air. You can only control the direction you're going in while you're inside of it. When you get shot out, you can only control how far forward and back you go. Which is kind of difficult to get used to, but it's not too bad. And for some reason I like platforming in Zelda games because I'm a weirdo. And I'll like it even more when we get this item here, which is the Deku Leaf. It allows us to float through the air when we jump off of a cliff, or if we're standing still, or standing on the ground rather, it can shoot a huge gust of wind. So let me get that out right now. Here's the big gust of wind. And here's the flotation ability. I find that if you rapidly tap the button, you can go a lot farther than if you don't, so you probably want to rapidly tap the button. Up way over there, if we were to actually go, that's pretty much how you get to the gallery island without being in New Game Plus. You go up there and you float down toward that island, and then you talk to a guy there, he tells you to hit a switch, you use the Hylian pair, and you're able to get inside. But I'm in New Game Plus, so I don't have to deal with that junk. The Deku Leaf is also at the mercy of the wind, so you actually need to change the direction if you want to get a lot of distance. If you don't do that, then you'll either probably fall to your doom or take a lot longer to get to your destination. And we are, of course, limited by our magic meter. I'm gonna let the magic meter run out here to just show off what happens when it does. If I can let it run out, I'm not sure if... yeah, I think we didn't have enough height to let it run out. Basically, if you do, your Deku Leaf won't work anymore to fly. And when you try to blow wind with it, then it won't actually do anything. It'll just kinda... I don't know how to put it. Basically, the leaf will be dead. It'll kind of be like branches instead of an actual leaf. It's kind of weird, but that's how it looks. Another use of constantly pressing the button is that when you encounter enemies while in the air, you can push them away, which I didn't actually... Oh, I did actually have to do that once. And here's the entrance of the dungeon. So, we'll be entering this in the next part. Let me just blow away this pea hat. And I kind of wanted to show off the fact that pea hats will drop gold feathers for you. Not often, though. Most of the time you have to actually grapple them in order to get them. But this is a good place to end the part. So next time we're going to be entering the second dungeon of Wind Waker.